Welcome back to another Dream in the Woods. Haven't even had the camera out here for about 2 weeks after we got done pouring concrete. Just took a break and relaxed a little bit. So we're back at it again today. Show you the concrete. I think it turned out great. I think it's still finishing curing or from where the sealer is. No visible cracks anywhere. Of course, if it cracked down the cut line, you wouldn't be able to tell, which is kind of the purpose of that. But yeah, looks fantastic. I do see back in here that it's settled away from the form. Probably not a ½ inch, but maybe in that spot's a ½ inch. So no big deal. We'll be when we're setting the posts, we'll be getting the elevations to make sure the posts are the right heights. So on the agenda today is putting the metal on the roof. So on the sawmill shed, we did most of the prep already as far as the panels go. So we'll be putting the felt on, putting that edge trim on the bottom edge, and then from there the panels should go up fairly rapidly. So we'll get to it. All right, the felt paper went up pretty quickly. No problems there. That little hammer stapler was the trick. Thanks, Tim. He kind of helped me out with that. Modern mountain living. I just prepped the first piece of edge trim, the bottom edge, and so I cut out 1 inch. It'll sit like that, and then that bottom edge just will come over the edge. I saw some people on this bottom piece here 45 it and make those come together, but our eave trim is longer, so they won't match up, so I just basically cut that in a little bit. So I'm about ready to put the first piece up. The other thing we're doing here is we stapled some shims up there. We want that drip edge to be off away from that fascia just a little bit, just so there's not the ability for that water to run under the backside and up, just so it will drip there. And so we stapled some shims there just to leave that off a little bit of a space there, and then we'll take the shims out when we're done. Okay, so we're getting ready to prep the next piece that goes in. Should be 6 inches of overlap, and so I'm going to cut this piece off 6 inches, and then this piece off 6 inches. So this piece and this piece that slide underneath the existing piece. All right, so this is this first joint taken out. So made some curves there so it'll slide in. Only thing I'm a little bit worried about is this sliding into this one, which we may have to open it up a little bit up there first before we slide it in. So like that. So there is a bit of a gap there between the two, but it's going to get covered up with the metal, so it won't ever be a big deal. Yeah, going good. So that first panel is loose on the eave side there. And that'll get tacked down with screws and a Z trim before the outside of the trim goes on. So that's what secures the far edge. We did 3 screws on the top and the bottom, and then every other one. And then we measured the length, and we're 1/4 inch off, so we figure that's good, over 38 feet. So piece number 2, here it comes.
Those folds, I think I folded them too much, because when you go to put this on, and this is sitting up high, it doesn't want to go in, so I'm just folding them back a little bit. Then I can get it up into there, and then it's pretty good. And then Greg just goes up and checks that height up there, and it's good. That should be it right there. Is that close?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. So that first one, I just popped it down in there. You could still drive it up like this, but then once you seat it down in there, it's pretty much there. So then it dresses up those ends. And then here's that fold, and then I'll take this thing and pinch it down, and it's locked. Then it's locked in. And Greg put that tape on there because without it, it scratches the heck out of that. So then that's locked in nice. And then that's why that back cut is all there, because if it's not and it's coming out here, you're never going to get the next piece in good. So yeah, this is a good system.
Even though we measured out 16 inches, this last panel is going to be about 4 inches too long. And so the panels must be a smidge over 16 inches as they come down along. So Eric's going over to see if he can find a little cutting tool, because we'll have to cut at the length for this final panel. So, but so far everything looks good. So the last piece even though we calculated and I did everything, dimensions on 16, all that kind of stuff, it was long. Each panel just was a little bit longer than 16 inches. So we have to cut that blue line off. I know the professionals would leave an inch or less and then roll that to a 90. We are not professionals and we're not going to do that, because we're going to put a big piece of Z-trim down the side that will lock into the eave trim, and there'll be plenty of screws fastening that down, and it may be the wrong thing, but we're doing it anyway. Okay, here's that last piece of metal up. Right now it is only secured by the crimping at the end, and of course the rib that's locked into place, but nothing on the outside edge, so if wind caught it, it could flip up. So we're gonna push on to get the Z trim on, and that'll secure that edge. But this is it. We got a roof. Looks pretty nice.